Hi friends, in today's video we're going to learn together that wonderful tune, the South Wind. It's primarily played as an air, but I've also heard it played as a waltz. Um, I love telling the story behind a tune. Well, this is one of those tunes that fell into that grouping of early mid 18th century tunes that made it into someone's collection. There are actually a number of older transcriptions, but it's such a beautiful tune. You will see lyrics associated with the tune, but the lyrics were not written at the same time the tune was composed. And so enjoy the lyrics that you find, if you find any, but don't feel like they go with the original tune. The tune itself that I want us to learn today is, as I often do, one I have crafted that represents the core of what I found of the tune from listening to many versions played of the tune and from looking at as many transcriptions of the tune as possible. I tried not to do anything that's me. I tried to capture is the most consistent expression of this tune. So that's what I want to share with us. I'd love for you to go to YouTube, even your favorite music source, and look up the South Wind and listen to it, because I want you to be able to express it as you want to express it. So what we'll do today is I'm going to play through the South Wind, and this is the play along with Scott section, and I'll show you what I feel is the core of the tune. And I'll walk us through that. I'll stand so you can see my fingers. And after that, I'll talk about some of the ornamentation and expression that people do. I'll just touch on that. I won't spend a long time on that, because I think in our next video, I'm going to play it using some of that ornamentation and expression for you to gather with really a flavor of Scott. Plus, my current abilities may limit that expression, because we need to play it as we're able. This is a tune we can play now, but it's also a tune that will challenge us and move us forward, and we'll be playing this for years. I guarantee that. I'm going to provide a download of the tune on the website, and I'll put a link in the show notes. I'll add chapters to this video so that you can come back to the play along with Scott section. I'd love for you to come back. Listen to me play it a couple times, play along with me, and let's begin learning to learn tunes by listening. I'll try and accentuate my fingers as much as I can so that you can see the notes, but I think you'll get what I'm doing. And I will obviously make, as I said, the music available for download. So I'll play through the South Wind. Okay, so as far as ornamentation and emotion going into this tune, the step in, if you want to play it as really a slower air, definitely step in with those one beat notes. If you want to add a slightly waltzier touch to it, Then make those eighth notes there. And step into it that way. You can do that. What I'm hearing most people do, and I think I want to emulate, is the ornamentation is a softer ornamentation on this tune. And so there are a number of gentle slides, not really pronounced. Some of the transitional notes are tongued, like that first line, high D, and there's a lot of non-tonguing in the tune. And so using the tonguing to highlight transitions there. I've noticed a lot of people like to play it with a bit of a fade at the end of some of those held notes. And then just sort of let that die off. Interestingly, on a lot of tunes, when you get that long of a held note, you're rolling, you're cutting, you're tapping, you're doing something to differentiate. This tune is building a stronger emotion. So you're going to keep that note and you're going to hang on to it a really long time for an Irish tune. And then you're going to build out of it. And then, so that's creating more tension. So use those held notes that way. Some light rolls at the step downs, and then like when you reach the bottom of some of that. The ending, the second ending, I often have heard and seen written, so I transcribed. Some folks, if you're stepping into the tune, then some people at that second ending will, if you stepped in with the half beat notes, then you're probably going to add a little bit of a triplet there. As you like. Some people I've even heard play that G, the low octave G, and then transition emotively to the second octave G. Again, see what you want to do. And then you get into that second section of the song where that high G is held twice. A lot of folks, instead of doing a cut on an A in the middle of that, they'll actually step to the A as a note and come back to it. And they'll do that with that second section as well. And then the D, right before stepping into the ending. Use the E there as kind of a da, 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 and then just like you would with the G at the start of the second section. And then the triplet I mentioned, coming out of the second ending, you could use in part of the ending again before stepping up to the G again. Let me play that. So you could do that. A lot of the combination of those you're going to do depends upon how you want the tune to feel. So experiment with those. Now go back to the play along with Scott section and play along with me, and then make this tune your own. Listen to it a few times from me. Go to your favorite music source and listen to it a few times there, whether it's guitar, whistle. I'd rather you listen to some whistle versions, mandolin, accordion. Get the different feel for it. Anyway, until next time, this is God's Shade. Happy Lodi whistling, my friends.